What's up YouTube? Today we're reviewing the 2022 Acura MDX A-SPEC. Special thank you to Ziad over at Pohanka Acura in Chantilly. I'll put his information right here on screen as well as in the description below. For 2022, Acura redesigned the MDX to make it look a lot more upscale and sporty. It follows the design language of like the new TLX and other newly designed Acura models. Like for example, the hood on this MDX resembles the TLX hood in that it's got those 3 body lines and it has this particularly sharp line down the center of the hood that follows through to the bottom of the front bumper. There are 4 different trim levels or packages as Acura likes to call it, starting with the base MDX, then the technology package, then the A-SPEC package, followed by the advanced package. And hopefully sometime this summer or by the end of this summer, Acura will be releasing the MDX Type S, but we can only wait until that happens. But for now, in my opinion, I think the A-SPEC package is definitely my favorite trim level, but that's personal preference. I just like the way that this car kind of has those blacked out accents. The base MDX, the technology package, and the advanced package, they're not blacked out and they don't have like those blacked out accents like the A-SPEC does, which I think makes it look a whole lot more sporty and a whole lot better. Front wheel drive is standard on the base and technology package MDX, with super handling all-wheel drive as an option. However, if you opt for the A-SPEC or the advanced pack MDX, super handling all-wheel drive is standard. My buddy has an RDX A-SPEC that has super handling all-wheel drive, and it's one of the few cars where I've actually felt the all-wheel drive system push you around a turn. And honestly, it's very impressive. Like, you can really feel the all-wheel drive system in action, and I can only imagine what the NSX feels like. Segueing from looks and packages, the MDX is powered by the trusty 3.5 liter V6 that puts out 290 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque that's able to push this big girl from 0 to 60 in 6.4 seconds. That's pretty impressive if you ask me, considering it's a second faster to 60 than the Lexus RX 350's 7.3 second 0 to 60 sprint. Acura also put in a new 10-speed transmission that replaces the old 9-speed for 2022. With that quick 0 to 60 time, you'd think fuel economy would suffer, but that's not the case. This MDX is able to achieve 19 miles per gallon city and 25 miles per gallon highway with super handling all-wheel drive. However, if you opt for the front-wheel drive, you can get 1 mile per gallon better on the highway for 19 miles per gallon city and 26 miles per gallon on the highway. But in my opinion, you should definitely get the super handling all-wheel drive. It's definitely worth that 1 mile per gallon on the highway, whether you get caught in some snow or you want to rip up the back roads. Just definitely opt for the super handling all-wheel drive. It's worth it. As I mentioned earlier in the video, this is the A-SPEC package, and with the A-SPEC package, you can opt for this beautiful Apex Blue Pearl Blue. I think it's a really nice color, and it definitely stands out amongst other SUVs that look boring in the grays and the whites and the blacks. This blue definitely stands out, and I really like the blue with the also A-SPEC specific blacked out trim around the front grille, as well as these blacked out headlamps, which is really nice. You also get these blacked out mirrors as well as this blacked out trim around the windows, which looks very good and gives it that little sporty element, as well as this body line right here kind of makes the car look a little wider. Like, it kind of looks like it widens out towards the back, that you got some nice meaty rear tires, which, you know, these tires aren't huge, but they're definitely not small. These are a 255/50 R20, so these are 20-inch wheels. I think they do look really good. I do think that the gunmetal looks nice, but I think that Acura definitely should have blacked out these wheels, considering with the A-SPEC package you get the black trim on everything. Like, you get the black mirrors and the black front grille. I definitely think that they should have put black wheels on this, especially considering you have those black lug nuts. So why not, if you have the black lug nuts, why not black out the wheel? But, you know, that's just my opinion. Maybe other people may disagree, but I don't know, I just think that they should be black. Another kind of deduction in points, in my opinion, is I think that this A-SPEC badge should also be in black. I don't know why they did it in chrome. I do like that little red accent in the middle of the A, but I wish that they would have done that red little A and then the chrome piece in black, but they did not do that. But the blacked out trim follows through to the rear, to this rear spoiler back here. One thing I wish Acura would have done was extended the rear spoiler out a little bit more. And with doing that, not only does it make it look a little bit more sporty, but you could have also hidden this rear wiper blade, which I think would have made it look just that little bit more upscale. I know the Lexus RX hides their rear wiper blade up in the rear of their spoiler type thing, but yeah, Acura did not do that, but nonetheless, it still looks good. You also have these smoked rear taillights on both sides, obviously, as well as this blacked out trim piece right here on the bottom. And like I said on the side, I wish they would have blacked out the A-SPEC badge, as well as blacked out the MDX and the super handling all-wheel drive badges as well, but they didn't. Not a huge deal. You can always debadge it or paint or do whatever you want to the badges, but that's just one thing that I noticed that I didn't necessarily not like, but I didn't necessarily like at the same time. Moving from exterior styling and performance, let's move into the interior. Obviously, it's 2021. You have keyless access. To open up the door, just have your key in the pocket. First thing I notice, interior looks super upscale. I really like the finishes that Acura used in this nice red stitched leather with the black. I think that looks very upscale. You also have no really hard touch plastics until you get to the bottom of the door panel, which isn't a huge deal. I think it looks really nice and premium on top. Right here you have your 3 memory seat presets, as well as your aluminum door handle right here. You also have nice solid feeling window switches, as well as your unlock lock button, and as well as this button right here to fold or unfold your front mirrors. Obviously mirror adjustments right here. Stepping into the car, you have these Alcantara suede type material going down the middle of the seats with leather on the outside. I think that looks very good. I think it gives it a very sporty element and feel. You have these big bolsters here on the side when you're testing out your super handling all-wheel drive to hold you in place around turns. But moving from the seats to the steering wheel, let's put our foot on the brake and hit the start button. Obviously the seat moves forward and the steering wheel came down to my setting. But number one thing, first thing that I notice on this car is that amazing digital dash. I'm so glad that Acura put a digital dash on the 2022 MDX to give it that updated feel, because it seems like all manufacturers are moving to a digital dash, but Acura definitely didn't lack when they came to designing the digital dash. You have this kind of scroll knob type thing right here in the middle of your center console right here, and you can twist it to the right or to the left. But when you twist it to the right, we're going into sport mode, which changes the dash layout to give it a more sporty feel. You got your RPMs going across the center, kind of like you get on like a Corvette Z06. It's kind of like the same type thing, where the higher you go on the RPMs, the more it goes to the right, which I think is awesome. You also have your speed right here on the right, as well as a nice digital speedometer right here in the middle to monitor your speed. One thing that's kind of cool is it shows you a power monitor. So obviously if your foot is halfway down on the throttle, it'll be halfway through the power monitor. Obviously if you're floored, you're going to be at the top of that power monitor. But another very nice thing that Acura did for 2022 was they got rid of that awful 2-screen layout that really was kind of like a throwback to 2007, and they replaced it with this beautiful 12.3-inch horizontally mounted display with the controls being through this touchpad right here. I think the touchpad works really well. I know some people do complain about the touchpad, but if you know what you're doing kind of with like a Mac, or you know how to operate a smartphone, it might take a little bit of getting used to, but that goes with anything. I mean, it's the same thing if you use the Mercedes infotainment system, use the Audi infotainment system, or you use the Lexus infotainment system. They're all different. They're all going to take a little bit of a learning curve, but the longer obviously that you use it, the more comfortable you become with it, and the more it becomes kind of second nature to access anything through your infotainment. Obviously, this is a 2021 vehicle. You have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. One thing that I think is a really neat feature, and when you're in Apple CarPlay, is that you can have your Apple CarPlay right here. Like I can open up Waze right here, and I can have like my audio settings right here on the right side. So yeah, it's not your full screen Apple CarPlay, but you got your map right here, and if you're listening to music through Apple CarPlay, AM, FM, satellite radio, your satellite radio or whatever kind of music you're playing will show up right here, so you don't have to switch between the menus and stuff within the Apple CarPlay to see what music you're playing, or go press this home button and see what music you're playing. It's all on the right side of the screen. So 3/4 of the screen is your Apple CarPlay, and then 1/4 of the screen is your audio settings right there. Moving from the infotainment back to the steering wheel has a really, really nice feel. It's got a very sporty feel, and like I said, this is the A-Spec. This is the sporty version of the MDX. Yeah, you don't get a power bump at all. It's the same power level as the base MDX or the advanced pack MDX, but you do get these nice paddle shifters right here, and you get this nice A-Spec badge, as well as this red stitching on the steering wheel right here. And that red stitching follows throughout the entire interior, on your door panels, on your dash, on top of the dash, following through to the rear side panel of the passenger side, and as well as the center dash right here. So you get this red stitching all throughout the interior, and I think it looks very upscale, and it honestly reminds me a little bit of like a BMW or a Mercedes or something like that, where they've got that beautiful stitching across the dash. And I mean, honestly, Acura really did step their game up for 2022. I'm very impressed with this car. The seats are very, very comfortable. And like I said, they've got that support that you need if you're pushing this through some tight back roads or Skyline Drive or something like that, where you're going around turns at a fairly high rate of speed. Because yeah, this is a somewhat heavy vehicle, but I'm telling you, it handles very well. I mean, it's a very agile vehicle, and the agility on top of the super handling all-wheel drive, I mean, this thing, I mean, I haven't really pushed it around a turn, but I'm sure that you could really get around a turn pretty dang quick in this car. This car also has the 16-speaker ELS Studio sound system. It's a 3D sound system, and in the front you get these beautiful aluminum type speaker covers. So if you see it, they're on both sides. This vehicle is an A-Spec, and it's pretty much fully loaded. Yeah, you can get the advanced package, which is above this, but this is still a very nice trim level, and this car comes in at $58,000. So definitely right on par with like the Lexus RX 350 or the other competitors in this segment. But I've been in a new Lexus RX 350, and I've been in, obviously, now this 2022 MDX. And if I had to choose between the two, I would definitely go with the MDX. You know, it's a Honda. I like Hondas more than I like Toyotas, and I like, now being in this car, I like Acuras more than I like Lexus. Yeah, Lexus is obviously, it's a very, very good car, very reliable, very comfortable, but you know, Lexus, they're not up to date with their technology. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but they're not. Like, they don't have a digital dash. They didn't come out with Apple CarPlay until 2020, which is, I mean, that's crazy. And they also have their terrible infotainment. I'm not a fan of it, but I'm definitely a fan of this car a lot more than the Lexus RX. Obviously, push button transmission right here, wireless charging pad right here, two nice size cup holders, which is great. But one thing I haven't showed you, this looks like a very simple type dash with no chargers or anything like that. But wait, push this thing down and boom, you got a USB-C cord as well as a USB cord. And I think that's really, really awesome, because you know, some people have converted to USB-C, but some people haven't converted to USB-C and they still use a USB cord. So it's nice to have the option between a USB and a USB-C cord. So thank you, Acura. I'm definitely a fan of the USB and the USB-C cord. So I think that's a major plus in my book. Obviously, panoramic sunroof, you can open the shade, you can open the roof. The roof opens up to this point about right here. Not going to open that now because of the pollen, and the pollen's kind of messing with me. I'm getting kind of allergies. But one thing back to the steering wheel that I did want to note is that this A-Spec package does not come with a heated steering wheel. I would have liked to see a heated steering wheel on the A-Spec, considering this is a $58,000 vehicle. But you know, I can see why, I guess, they didn't put a heated steering wheel in this. They want you to get the advanced package, because I mean, the A-Spec package looks better than the advanced package, so it's like, why get an advanced package? But with the advanced package, obviously you get more features, you get a heated steering wheel. But I think even with the advanced package, you getting more of the features and stuff, I think I might still go with the A-Spec, because you know, I like that blacked out trim. I like the blacked out trim pieces. I like the smoked tail lights. I also like the blacked out headlights, and I think these wheels look really good as well. One thing that's really awesome is that you have a volume knob right here. I know some like Hondas got rid of the volume knob for a couple years, but I like how your volume knob is very accessible right here. And another thing in this center dash right here is that you got this little armrest right here. So if you're driving, you can use your you can use your pad right here to navigate through the infotainment system, but you can also switch gears with the pad. It gives a nice little armrest, so when you're driving down the road, you can rest your arm here as well and have your left hand on the steering wheel. One thing I didn't mention yet is that you have these nice door pockets on the driver and passenger side doors, so you can fit a water bottle or whatever else you need to fit in the back part of this door panel. Definitely a lot of storage room. You got the storage room right here in the middle. You can put your gloves, your glasses, whatever you want. You also have another USB port here, as well as a 12-volt outlet right here, and another 12-volt outlet that you might not be able to see from the driver's side, but you can see from the passenger side. You got that 12-volt outlet right here, which is really nice. So definitely tons of places to charge your phone, keep your phone charged on a long road trip, keep the kids happy on a long road trip. So definitely more than enough USB cords, and then it's nice that they added that USB-C cord. But this is an Acura, so obviously you have all the safety features you could ever want. You've got adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, forward collision warning, lane departure warning, lane keeping assist system, road departure mitigation, traffic jam assist, and you also get the automatic high beams. Automatic high beams are awesome. If you never had them and you use them in their a good automatic high beam system, then you'll never want to go back to a car that doesn't have automatic high beams. But I know we've talked a lot about the front of this vehicle, but this is a 3-row SUV, so let's see what it's like towards the second and the third row. Moving into the rear seats, I'm sitting behind myself at 5'9". I'm going to recline the seat back a little bit, and I'm also going to slide the seat back a little bit for maximum leg room. Definitely plenty of leg room for me. Like I said, I'm 5'9", obviously plenty of headroom. Not the tallest person in the world, but one cool privacy feature that I did notice right off the bat is you got these nice window shades. You got them obviously on both sides for the second row. They do not have them in the third row. Like I was talking about, that nice red stitched leather obviously follows through to the second row, as well as these nice aluminum door handles right here as well. You also get 2 cup holders right here in the middle, but if you want to take this middle seat out, you can. So you have these 2 captain's chairs and then a nice open section in the middle to get to the third row, easier third row access. But when talking about the amenities in the second row, this is a tri-zone climate control, so you can control the temperature for the second and the third row seats from the second row right here. You can adjust fan speed, temperature. If you want it to be blowing on your face or blowing on your feet, you can adjust that right there. You can also turn it off from back here as well. Just like the front, you do have 2 USB ports right here, as well as a 12-volt outlet right there, which is great. Obviously, if you got kids and you want them to be quiet, I guess, on a long road trip and play on their iPads and stuff like that, you don't have to worry about their iPads dying. You can plug them in. So no issue about iPads dying or computers dying or stuff like that in the back. But plenty of storage, just like the front. You can store a water bottle or whatever you want to right here, as well as some other things right here in the front of the door pocket. Same goes for the passenger side of the vehicle as well. Same kind of door pocket there. If you do keep your middle seat in the car, you've got some storage right here for snacks or other things like that. You also have 2 more cup holders right here, which is great. Obviously you got your seat back pockets right here, so you want to put maps. I mean, I don't really know who uses a map anymore, but gloves, hats, whatever you want if you're in the winter time, back there. These seats do slide forward and backward, as well as lean forward and backward, and they're very comfortable. Definitely nothing to complain about seat comfort wise. In the third row, you know, obviously you got less leg room than you do in the second row, but for kids, no issue. My buddy actually, who's about 5'10", sat in the back right behind this seat right here, and he said, you know, it wasn't the most comfortable thing in the world, but it's definitely not uncomfortable, which is a good thing. Another thing is that you do have a cup holder right here, and you also have a cup holder on this side of the vehicle as well. So plenty of cup holders for all your passengers, nothing to worry about there. But now let's see what storage room is like. Opening up the rear hatch, obviously you have an automatic tailgate. It's opening up. It's actually decently quick. You got some nice storage area right here. You pop this up, you got your spare tire down there, which is good. To fold down these seats, just push this button right here, push that forward just like that, and you got more than enough space for stuff right here. I like how this part goes down and gives you even more extra storage space right here. You also get a little bit more storage space right there. I don't know, whatever you want to put there. Jumper cables, stuff like that. It's a good little cubby hole right there. But yeah, so I know we've talked about the performance, we've talked about the looks, we've talked about what the interior is like, but one thing we haven't talked about yet is how this thing drives. So I'm gonna get in the driver's seat and we're gonna take this thing for a little ride. I'll give you some driving impressions, I'll give you what I feel about the performance and how it handles. So yeah, let's get into it. I'll see you guys in the front seat. So now on to my favorite part of the review, which is the driving portion of the review. Right off the bat, I've been driving this car around for a little bit, from the dealership to the spot where I was filming. And one thing when you get in this car that you notice right off the bat is just how smooth that this car rides. I mean, it's just extraordinarily smooth. You know, I can compare this to kind of like the Lexus RX 350. I mean, that car is very smooth. And honestly, I think this car might just be a little bit smoother. I know that Acura revamped their suspension for 2022. And I mean, you can tell it's very smooth, and it also handles very well. Like when you're going around turns and stuff like that, you know, it handles very, very well. Like you wouldn't think that you're in an SUV. And, you know, I don't say that lightly. You know, I'm pretty, I would say kind of hard with my reviews, in that I say that, you know, if something handles terribly, I'm going to let you know that something handles terribly. But, you know, that's not the case with this car. This car is very impressive with the way that it handles. There's not much body roll and stuff like that. And you know, another thing that goes along with handling, and if you're going around tight turns and stuff like that, is your all-wheel drive system. And Acura has that super handling all-wheel drive system that's very, very good. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, my buddy has an MDX A-SPEC 2019 with the super handling all-wheel drive, and it is very impressive. I mean, he's taken me around some pretty serious turns at some high rates of speed that you'd be like, oh shoot. And you know, it'll impress you. And you know, I would say the same thing would probably go for this. Obviously, I'm not going to be pushing this car around turns like crazy and stuff like that, because number one, it's not my car. Number two, it's a dealership car, and you know, they've been gracious enough to let me use the car, and obviously I'm going to respect them for that, and I'm going to respect the car that they gave me. So you know, I'm not going to push it that hard. But right now, we're going on an on-ramp to get onto the highway, and you know, like I said, very, very good handling. Those side bolsters hold you in nicely. You know, I'm a pretty skinny guy. I'm 5'9", 140, so you know, I'm not thick by any means. But getting onto the highway, let's test this merging ability. Not really getting on it that hard, but definitely getting on it a little bit. No problems. Accelerates extraordinarily well. You know, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but it definitely accelerates very, very well. And I'm very excited to see what Acura does with the MDX Type S. You know, I think it's supposed to be a 3-liter V6 twin turbocharged. It should be putting out about 355 horsepower, if I read that right. You know, don't quote me on that number, but I'm pretty sure that's what the number is. And you know, that's gonna be pretty quick. Like, we did that 0 to 60, and it was no slouch, definitely no slouch. But you know, cruising on the highway, you know, this thing cruises very, very well. You know, it's very impressive. You know, we got bumps all over the place. This road is kind of crappy. There's another word I'd use for it, but you know, this is YouTube, you got to be kid friendly. But you know, this thing, it takes those bumps very well. You know, it's very composed going over bumps, so that's definitely a plus for this car. You know, you got your lane keep assist, so if you start drifting out of your lane, push you back in the lane. And you know, it's not too aggressive. Some of these lane keep assist systems, they're pretty aggressive, and it's like you're almost fighting with the wheel, and it makes it, in my opinion, almost more unsafe than if it just let you drift out of the lane, because it's pushing you one way and you're trying to go another way, and then it lets go, and then you kind of jerk to one side that you don't want to jerk to, and you know, that can be unsafe. You can crash into another car, you can flip the car, stuff like that. But with this Acura, you know, the lane keep system is very good. Definitely no complaints about that at all. And actually, it's the opposite of complaining. I actually give it some praise that it's actually a very good lane keep assist system. Now, one part of this car that I don't like, and you know, it's becoming a part of more and more cars as time goes on, and that's the auto stop start system. You know, I disengaged it for this drive that we have here today because I can't stand it. I don't like auto stop start systems. And you know, if you're in a jam and you got to get the heck out of the way, and you got to wait that 1 second to get out of the way and punch your car, and gotta wait for the engine to turn on, you know, that 1 second can make a big difference. But you know, the auto stop start system, it's not awful on this. It does start up pretty quick, but you know, I'm just nitpicking. But you know, I'm not a fan of the auto stop start system in any car, so it's not just Acura specific that I don't like it. But if I did use auto stop start, you know, it's not the slowest thing in the world, but it's definitely not the quickest startup ever at the same time. But one thing that I think is very notable if you have kids, and you're probably going to want to hear this, is that just me driving this on the road, right now I'm stuck kind of in a little bit of traffic, and I was just on the highway back there, is that this car feels very solid. You know, it feels very safe. If I had kids, I would definitely not hesitate to get this car. You know, you got all the safety features. You got your forward collision warning, your lane keep assist, lane departure warning, blind spot monitoring, stuff like that. Everything that you need to keep yourself safe in a vehicle, this car has. And you know, some cars, they have all the safety features, but they don't feel solid. You know, this car feels solid. And I give Acura props to making a very solid feeling car. And one thing that's kind of funny is that I like that the turn signal sound. You know, I think the turn signal, it's kind of like a satisfying sound a little bit. You know, some turn signals can be annoying, but you know, this has got, it's just a light kind of sound. It sounds, you know, nice, kind of calming almost in a way. Yeah, but that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope that if you're looking to get an MDX A-SPEC, or you're looking at an MDX and Lexus RX, you know, I've driven both, and my honest opinion is that I like the MDX better. You know, it's very smooth. It's just as smooth, if not smoother, than the Lexus RX. You know, you've got this beautiful interior, you got these beautiful speaker covers, that nice aluminum trim, the piano black, the red stitching, you got this nice armrest here, wireless charging, Wi-Fi. I mean, the list goes on and on. So like I said, I would definitely recommend getting this car. If you're looking into it, go test drive one. You know, there's all the different trim levels that you can get. If you're not looking at spending too much money, you can get the base model, or you can get the technology package. Or if you're looking at spending just a little bit more money because you want the look and you also want the features and stuff like that, I would definitely not hesitate to take a look at the A-SPEC, like what we're driving today. I really do like this car. I think the seats are very comfortable. I think the little suede inserts in the center of the seats looks very nice, and gives you that kind of sporty feel in your SUV. That's not like super sporty, but you know, it gives you everything that you really want if you're looking for something to haul around the kids, or even haul around dogs or something like that. you know, I would definitely give this car a look. But like I said, that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and please leave some comments in the comment section down below. If you've driven an MDX or you've driven the RX 350, let me know what you like better, and let me know if this video helped sway your decision into an MDX. But like I said, special thanks to Pohanka Acura and Ziad, the sales manager in particular, for giving me this car for you guys to review today. That's it for today's video. Like I said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.